Madeline, based on like the cartoon / comic. They made a Madeline movie. What?
Yeah, I remember that coming out.
And then there's Dog Park, a romantic '90s comedy, and then there's Dog Park, a 2017 romantic comedy, which are
Okay,
unrelated.
you're telling me about all these movies, but none of them are about the biggest dog in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest dog in the world!
Digby thinks he's just a playful puppy. Unfortunately, he's just too much dog. For the inside story of what happens next,
Digby! Don't swallow!
ask Digby. Rated G.
Dogs, they're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rough Cuts, where we talk about good boys in bad movies. I'm your host, Ilian, and here's my wonderful co-host, the Boiks.
Hello.
We watched Big Dog.
A
We
big
watched
dog.
Big Dog.
The biggest dog.
The biggest dog. Digby gave me more than I expected. 70s movies are weird because
yeah.
they can either be very bad, like very, very bad and boring, or sometimes they're like very much the that like meme proof kind of thing where people are like, oh, you can't be funny nowadays without being offensive. Like, you have to be offensive to be funny, and then instead they just do the stupidest fucking jokes and they're all funny as shit. They're all funny as shit.
This movie's like joke, 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 joke,
Uh-huh.
joke, 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 joke. To the point where I was feeling like fatigued after an hour of joke.
Yeah, it does. Well, I
There's
think that
so
it's
much joke.
Yeah, I think the problem with that is that, unfortunately, the one problem is that about like an hour in, like you were saying when you were feeling fatigued, I felt the same way. And I think what it is the jokes kind of stop because it does have to
Right. It has
finish
to move the plot.
Yeah, and they're like, wait, shit, we actually did set up a plot and not just jokes, and they don't quite have the same number of jokes. So then you suddenly like the weight of all you've been watching starts crashing into you, and you're kind of like, oh, they're not doing any joke. Oh, I guess they gotta wrap this up, huh? And you just kind of zone out, like you just get it yanks you out of it. Like, imagine if Airplane actually did a serious plane landing at the end of Airplane, where you're just kind of like, oh, this was real stakes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Act 3 is the problem for sure.
Yes.
It sucks a little of the fun out, and then you're like, oh god, I've been laughing for an hour. Oh. Oh no, now I have to sit through this. Ugh.
Yeah.
But then it escalates again at the very, very end.
Yes, it still ends strong. Right at the very end, it has some good jokes.
I felt like they had to get it to an hour 20, hour 30.
Yeah,
and that was
might
the
have
problem.
Been a bit of stretching too, yeah.
Where this would have made a really good TV 1 hour movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like that might be part of the problem too, is that they got an hour in and they were like, fuck, we don't have anything left. We're just done. This is enough.
Right. So
let's finish this fucking movie.
Digby, the biggest dog in the world, which is the canonical name of this film. You have to say the entire title every time you mention Digby, the biggest dog.
The biggest dog in the world. Yes.
Yeah. Is based on a 1960s children's book in the UK.
Correct.
And I don't believe this aired very many other places other than maybe Germany, for obvious reasons.
What? I feel like its German box office return might be slightly lower than the British, based on the way that they portray the Germans.
What are you talking about?
This is a non-aggressive lease. Non-aggression lease.
Signed the lease. Of course I signed the lease, but that's a non-aggression lease. That's a non.
There's so much German in this film. You can tell because
yes,
he speaks like German.
a German. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a Doctor Strangelove, basically.
This is very post-World War II Britain.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. There's, oh god, I do like the British Doctor quite a bit. They do
I
some things
like
with him.
70s and 80s, like early 80s British humor. It's so
Yes.
dry and just matter of a fact, and then like I don't know,
But
man.
also
There's
very
something about it.
zany. It's
Yeah.
also very, like, there's a lot of absurdism and zaniness and stuff in this. Like, it just, it doesn't apply to life at all. We were talking about it early on, and we're like, God, it really does have that feel of, like, Monty Python sketches.
Yeah, 100%.
It
100%.
very early on, like, I mean,
Or the
maybe that's
Monkeys,
partially,
like TV show,
yeah.
or
Mm-hmm.
like any of those early, like, God, there were so many of those like pop group TV shows that were comedy bits.
Yeah, a bit of Fry and Laurie kind of stuff, and
Yeah. Like it, man. There's some good jokes in this movie. There's some good jokes.
there are some very, very good jokes in this movie. A lot of them are very stupid, but like they just
Mhm.
play them in such a way that they become very funny. There's an opening scene where a general shows up at their research facility, which is
Mhm.
the opening of this. Our main character, Jeff Eldon, throws an orange through a window because he's trying to throw it to his monkey.
To his chimp on the roof. Yeah.
Yeah. We made the joke, I believe, of there's there's a monkey here, and then also an ape, because he looks incredibly like a beetle or a monkey.
This dude
Just has
is
that
just a
exact-
Paul McCartney lookalike. It's so
He really is, yeah.
ridiculous.
He has like the same haircut and everything, and
Yeah.
his facial features too, honestly. Funny thing is he is actually a very, very well-known actor and songwriter, director, pop idol from the 50s. His name is Jim Dale, and he is knighted. In fact, he did all of the audiobooks for the very garbage Harry Potter novels in
Great.
America. But yeah, no, he's won like a bunch of Grammy Awards and like a BAFTA and all these kinds of things. So he's like a big actor. There's a lot of people that are. It's incredible how many people are in this that are kind of known for the 70s. Like I didn't know them now, but when you look at like their actual resumes, it's like, oh, these are all really well known, like good actors. And it makes sense because all the stuff is just well done.
It's always a crapshoot with a 70s movie. I never know what I'm going to get. I have absolutely no clue. And when you're doing with a comedy, like if this was a comedy today, it would all be like references that are immediately dated in like a year.
And there's definitely some of that.
And there are some in this where I'm like, is that a reference? Is that a 60s UK reference?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Why is that
what
there?
What are you talking about? Yeah. There was more than a few times.
About?
It was a NATO facility.
Yeah.
And so at the gate of the NATO facility, like, I've got to think this was a gag. It was like NA, and then there was like a picture, and then TO, and I don't know who the picture was of, and I just couldn't. I was like, I feel like this is some kind of inside reference.
Was it a person, like a celebrity, maybe?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but
I don't
know if it was a celebrity or
Who
a
knows?
general that was famous, or like a royal, or I have no idea. They could have been a bunch of different things. So there's some of that, but a lot of the jokes are just weird, absurd, or stupid puns that are just played straight enough.
It's got puns. It's got puns.
It's got a lot of puns. They're played straight enough and stupid enough that they're funny again. Like it's the very, very much the like, and don't call me Shirley. Like the very deadpan kind of thing sometimes. Because they start passing a banana. So the general shows up at their facility after he throws this orange through a window, introducing our main character, who's just a total dipshit. And for some reason, they have a banana that they're passing back and forth behind their backs while they're shaking the hand of the general. I didn't catch why they were doing that.
I don't know why.
Somebody ended up with like a banana, and then they were trying to like not hold it, so they were like passing it back and forth. And then the monkey steals the banana and throws it on the ground. And one of the scientists, kind of military guys, I guess more, like saves the general from him. He's like, whoa, like there's a banana peel there, sir.
Watch out for that
Oh,
banana.
we want to slip up. Oh,
we wouldn't want any slip ups.
They just, the way that they like play it up so hard is actually really good. It's like there's just so it's very, very stupid, but
the guy who stops him
slips
slips on it too. So like there's man, good slapstick. Good slapstick.
Yeah, a minute later. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's some setup and some payoff on the jokes for sure.
Well, because also that was set up because then later on, there's a very absurd plot line where Project X formula gets stolen from this facility. Project X being a thing that makes animals and vegetables gigantic.
Things grow. Yeah, because they have a giant cucumber going through
the
boardroom as a gag.
With a big top secret sign stapled to it.
Top secret, don't
with
look
like
at this.
12 people holding it and carrying it through this room. But
the secret cucumber.
Later on, so Project X gets stolen. I just wanted to mention this really quickly because the banana thing. And the monkey, they go, well, wait, maybe the chimp is a spy. Like, wait, but can it be? And it's like, chimps are very smart. It could be trained. And it did throw that banana peel at you, sir.
Because the guy wants to have an excuse for why he slipped on the banana peel, so he's calling the monkey a spy.
Yes, the monkey must be an agent for
the Ruskies.
Russia. Yeah. It's a Russian agent. That's the problem. It's a trained Russian chimp, as they do.
A trained spy mate. Yeah.
Yeah, they use that term too, don't they? They say, God.
Oh, man. So, but while they're moving the cucumber through the halls and explaining the chemical X, we're also introduced to their German doctor that they bring in, who's like, oh, wunderbar!
Wunderbar! Oh, guten Morgen! Yes.
Oh,
I got very Scottish there.
Yeah, you did. Very German. Right, and they're having snack time. He's like, oh, what is this? The snack. What is snack? Like, he's just extremely German. For no reason. But he works with them. I guess. Why is he here? Because he's German and it's funny.
That's literally the reason is that he is a really good weird fish out of water, and he gets to say lines like non-aggression lease.
Correct, because he moves in next to our very, very incompetent main character, and comedy ensues as the eccentric German doctor neighbor keeps seeing weird things over his fence.
He sees the weirdest shit, and it's like loud and obnoxious. And he's like, "No, I need out of this lease." And we're like, "You signed the lease." He's like, "It's a non-aggression lease." God damn it!
I'm out.
God, no.
Damn it, German. Yeah.
Oh man.
So, but they also have an animal testing lab, but they haven't tested the chemical X on the animals yet. And for some reason, Jeff has a blue mouse that he can talk to that squeaks back, which has no relevance to anything in the entire plot.
He talks to all of his animals. He's
right.
So, I mean, the joke there is that he's the animal psychologist that they have on staff.
I guess, yeah.
And so he just carries around animals and talks to them and acts like they're talking back to him. And he's weird, but he's At first, I was ready to kind of dislike this movie and to just dislike him because it seemed like it was going too stupid. But then it leaned so far into it that, like, you knew that it was like, oh, okay,
they're
this
in
is
on
very
it.
much, this is an Airplane style kind of comedy. Like, it is a very surreal kind of absurdist sketch. It's a bunch of sketches strung together very slightly.
Yeah. 100% a sketch comedy show.
Yeah, very quickly you start going like, oh, okay, yeah, no. Like, he's acting like a dipshit, and you're thinking that it's because it's for children, but I don't know if this movie was for kids.
There were some very adult jokes.
There really were. Yeah,
there was pornography in this movie.
There was actual pornography in this film. There sure was. I mean, softcore, but still.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But I was prepared to hate him, but as the movie went on, like he has a really good delivery of stuff. He was really good on the jokes. Like I
Yeah,
appreciated
yeah.
his line delivery and everything.
All the line
I wanted to
delivery is
mention
great.
actually, I was looking up on the side and I managed to see. So one of the other main actors is Spike Milligan, besides Jim
Hmm.
Dale, and Spike Milligan was with Goon Show, it's called, and then it was a surreal sketch show that was credited as like one of the major influences on Monty Python's Flying Circus, which
That makes sense. Yeah.
yep, totally makes sense
Yeah.
now. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, all of this it has that style of delivery and thought to it, and it's got a lot of very dumb jokes, but the jokes are done in such a way that still makes them funny. They're
For
just
sure.
delivered very well.
So, our main character, Paul McCartney, no, Jeff,
Jeff McCartney, yes.
Jeff McCartney.
It's Jeff
Uh,
McCartney, his paternal twin.
He's talking to the lead scientist of Chemical X and is like, "Hey, can I like take some of those to make my roses grow because my roses aren't growing?" And that'd be great.
Like, fuck off! What are you talking about?
No.
You cannot steal the secret government formula to make your roses big,
Well,
Jeff.
He didn't ask to steal it. He asked to use
Okay,
it
sure,
for his
but-
roses. But
Well,
then
he's going to
steals
steal it. He's going to though.
But then he
He's
just
about
fucking
to.
steals it because he's a jerk. I don't know.
And they have it on a little scale with like weights to show
So they know
that
how
none
much
of it's
is in it?
missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he doesn't do anything about the weight stuff. He's just like,
What
oh,
a
only took
dummy.
a little bit of it. Oh, that's fine.
Right.
And,
So
yeah.
but before all this happens, we were introduced to a small boy who wanted to
Yes.
adopt a dog at a kennel or something. So he ends up
Yeah.
adopting Digby, and the person who runs the place was going to give it to a rich lady who already has 2 dogs. But then he
She was
decided
already sold.
But then he decided, fuck her, fuck the rich.
Yes.
We're gonna give it to this small boy instead, whose father very much is dead, very dead father.
Yeah. It
They
does
mentioned
do
that
for
too.
sure.
That checks the
Yep.
box.
You've got to have the boxes checked if you're going to do a dog movie for kids.
Yep.
For
So
kids? Question mark again.
I don't know.
Softcore porn.
But during the intro song, which is very horrific,
Digby.
It's just Digby. What lyrics should we put on this song? Digby. So, but during that, we find out that his mom said, "Fuck no, you're not taking this dog. Are you? You didn't even ask. No."
Mhm.
So he ends up just like leaving the dog at Jeff's house with a note saying, "Hey, take care of this dog for me. Thanks."
Yep. Yeah, for no real discernible reason. There's
Yep.
a lot of plot that just kind of happens, but it's fine in this style of movie
I
because again, this
guess.
movie is but this movie isn't about plot. Like
No,
by
it's
the
about
end of it, it's-
jokes.
yeah,
really.
by the end of it, honestly, again, the worst part of it is when they decide, like, shit, we have to solve the plot. Because realistically, they didn't have any idea where they were really going with it. They just needed to do as many sketches as they could as fast as possible.
So Jeff decides just to take Digby because
Sure, why not?
So he brings Digby in. He starts putting his chemical X in some water
Mhm.
to mix it up so that he can put it on his roses. And then the lady from the lab that he's been trying to schmooze on shows up.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I I don't think that he was trying to schmooze on her too much though. Like a little bit, but
Yeah.
I want to say that maybe he's not like, because most of it is he's being very normal and nice to her, and he doesn't ask her out or anything. Like, he has opportunities to, and he's not creeping on her or anything like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
early on, they have the military guy who slipped on the banana peel show up and start asking her out, but he's in front of a door like a dummy. And so, of course, Jeff opens the door and smashes his face in and can't understand why he's upset. And the lady's like, oh my god, like his nose is like broken. And he's like, well, I mean, I can't believe you hit him. Like, he's like, well, no wonder why you hit him. And he's asking you out kind of thing. She's like, no, you hit him with the, never mind. Like,
No, you hit him with the door. Why the hell was he standing behind a door?
Yeah, which is a good question, actually. Like, he's got a point, but yeah. So he doesn't like really hit on her there. Like, she actually seems like she's on to him, because she even says eventually, she says to him, well, if you ever want to get around to asking me out, I would say yes. Like, she does have a line like that at some point. So he's not really schmoozing on her as much as he's just kind of funny and charming, and
Sure.
they just hit it off. I wanted to make the distinction because it makes him sound a little creepy when it's like, oh, he's schmoozing on her.
He's pretty fucking creepy later, but
yeah, fair.
I think it's at least alluding to it.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But she shows up. Digby's there, and she
Mhm.
notices a bowl of white liquid and a bottle of milk next to it. So she starts feeding the milk to Digby, which is chemical X.
Mm-hmm.
And then
she turned the liquid white. So
yep. And then she refills the bowl with milk to give him another bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, Jeff stops her because he was distracted trying to find some tea, I think.
Yeah. He turns around and he's like, oh my god, don't feed that chemical X. I mean, totally normal milk to that dog. That would be bad.
Totally normal. I didn't steal anything. Why are you saying I stole something? Get out of my apartment.
Exactly. And then he goes and dumps the milk into the roses, still thinking that it is the original bowl, and it's just the chemical X. Haha, hijinks ensue.
Yep. So at this point, an hour later after getting Digby, he decides to install a dog door in his front door.
Because he's taking Digby for a week, so he's got to have a dog door for it.
He needs a dog door. So what happens with the dog door? Because I think it's actually kind of funny.
Oh, there's a lot of things that happen with the dog door. He's constantly just going in and out of the dog door himself. As his German neighbor looks on and keeps on thinking that he's slowly losing his mind and turning into a dog. Because to cover for all of his lies, he has to do things like Digby starts getting bigger and bigger, and Jeff does things like the boy comes by and he has to pretend that the dog isn't super large now, so he goes like, oh, well, I have dog food in my hand because I eat dog food. And the kid looks him in the eyes, stares right at him, and he goes, so do it then.
We'll see what it says on the label. Look, so good, even dads can eat it. Look, see? So I eat it.
All right, then. Eat it.
I love that the child chooses violence. This little kid knows immediately. This kid's like, oh, that's some bullshit. All right, well, how committed to this are you? And the answer is very. Because he does it as the German neighbor looks on and goes, what the fuck is with these English?
Yeah, he's like barking at the door too, and like going in on all fours. And, man, there's so many good bits with this. I love it.
Yeah, this is also when they have the burglars too, right?
The burglars show up. Yeah, so there's two acrobatic burglars in the night who are stealing silver and candlesticks and things like that from rich people's houses. So
yeah, like extremely obvious, 1950. They might as well have bags with like cash signs on them. They're stealing silver candlesticks.
It's real good.
Like,
so two cops show up and run in. the acrobats run out and then steal the cop car because they left the keys in the car.
Yes.
So then the cops, one of which is John Cleese,
very much John Cleese. Holy shit, it's incredible.
run after them on foot at the speed of car.
Mm-hmm.
And the acrobats go over a wall using acrobatics, which they didn't need because the door was locked, but it was actually open. And there's
they have a
there's
very
some
good
ridiculous
gag
shenanigans. I don't.
where they go and they're like, okay, well, this door's locked. We need to get over the wall. All right, like we'll do the number 2 flip. Yeah, the number 2 flip, and they run over. The one guy jumps on the other's shoulders and like flips over, and then he hangs from his knees upside down to like pull the other guy up. And the other guy goes, all right, 1, 2, 3, and jumps all the way up the wall. So the other guy's just like hanging from his knees, and then he leans over and pulls the guy that's hanging from his knees up. It's like, God damn it, like little things like that. And then of course, the minute they get over the wall and run away, the cops come and the door was open the whole time. They're just too fucking stupid to
Yeah,
like, it's like a push door instead of a pull door or whatever.
Damn it!
It's just that kind of thing. Yeah.
So as they're escaping, they come upon Jeff's house, flat, whatever it is, and they go in through the doggy door that he installed that same day, and they hide in his laundry basket, which has a 2-person horse costume in it because his parents were a horse.
Which they keep making jokes about, which actually, it escalates to a point that's pretty good. He's talking about how his parents were like this horse act, and it's like, wait, what? And then like, they do my mother was the head and my father was a horse's anyway. And they do things like that, and then later on they're like, we found something weird in Jeff's personnel file that's maybe a sign of why he's like how he is. Turns out his parents were a horse. And it's like, God damn, shut up. Shut up, movie.
Right. So, but Digby comes down, noticing the burglars, and is barking at the laundry basket. Jeff comes down and tells him to shut up, and then ties him towards, like, near the door, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the burglars escape. But they left the silver, and that's never addressed again.
Well, they try and go back at one point for it.
Oh, they do, yeah, because Digby grew bigger,
yes.
right?
Yeah, and then they get spooked by the dog. That's actually addressed very well, because then they steal the dog, because they find out that Digby's huge. They go back to take the silverware, and then they notice that Digby is gigantic at this point, because Digby grows overnight. And they decide that it's better to steal Digby, because Digby's got to be worth way more than any silverware.
Than a little bit of silver,
Yeah.
I remember if... Yeah.
Go ahead.
At some point during this time, Jeff also calls his aunt.
Yes.
Which is a very good bit. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
No, you can get it.
Okay. So he calls his aunt. I don't remember why, but he's just calling her. She's like, "Oh, nothing for me, please, thanks," and hangs up.
Yeah.
No. Call back. Hello? Yeah, this is Jeff. Nothing for me, please. Oh, thanks, Jeff. Hangs up. God damn it.
I really wish she had done that, but she's listening on the radio to a program that is bagpipes. So she's listening to this, and she's like, "Wait a minute, I can't hear you." Walks over to her radio and cranks it way the fuck up. So that you've just got like this, like bagpipes in the background this whole time that you're trying to talk to her.
Aunt Anna. Just a minute, dear. It's the television. That's better. I couldn't hear it properly. And what do you want, dear?
It's the deadly premonition joke. Like when they're at the table and they're sitting on opposite sides with the music too loud. It's such a good bit.
Yeah. And then later on, he shows up at her house too, and she shuts the door in his face and is like, "None of this, thanks. And I'm good." He's like, "No, but I'm good." Jeff. Like, no, it's me, Aunt. Oh God, but yeah, she's really good. So yeah, I had that written down as "turn up for bagpipes" because she just cranks that shit.
Yep. The next morning, we see a bunch of people go by. Jeff's like, "Hello, morning," and then there's like 50 people running by at the same time saying "morning" to him, which is also a really good gag.
Yeah,
it's so Monty Python. And he goes out and gets an elephant thigh.
Yes.
Bone.
Yes, I have no idea how he got this bone.
It's so big. It's like a dinosaur bone or something. I don't even... What?
There's some good props in this. There's a couple of good props that I think they spent a lot of time
Oh, yeah, there's
on.
some very good props. But he tries to get that to Digby, and Digby runs out with it and immediately goes to the German neighbor's yard and starts digging a giant hole to bury it. Which is good. But Jeff runs out, grabs the bone, and throws it back inside, so Digby stops digging. Yes. And then he tries to quickly fill in the hole.
Yeah, he's shoveling it back in so you can fill in this hole. This hole, for, like, reference, is... It's an excavator. Like, somebody took an excavator and did this hole. Yeah. This thing's 20 feet deep, and he's just trying to, like, hand trowel it closed again. You're like, yeah, dude. Yeah, that'll work. Keep going. You're doing great.
And his German neighbor is getting his furniture moved in and notices it. Right? And this is after the dog food and barking at the dog door.
Yeah.
So he jumps in the hole with him. He's like, you think you're a dog?
Well, you would be a very good specimen for me to
dig into. No, do not look at me. No, I don't need this. Oh, well, you come to my office, sit on couch, sit on couch, and I examine you. You will not examine me. Oh no, yes, who's a good doggy? Who's a good doggy? Yeah. But they're both like lying in the hole together. And it's
they're like laying there with like their hands behind their heads, like staring at the sky. And this German doctor's just like, no, you need appointment. you need come talk to me. Yeah, and it's just
But he goes back to the German goes back to the office the next day and is talking to the military guy and the scientist who he smacked in the face, who Jeff smacked in the face.
Yes.
And he's like, man, my neighbor is so wild. He thinks he's a dog, but his parents were a horse. What?
Yes, that's where they bring that up. Yeah.
So he starts telling them about Jeff, and they're like, we need to go get Jeff and get him some help. You should go talk to him. Okay, but should we bark?
They've also figured out that he was the thief at this point.
They think he stole the chemical. Yeah.
Yeah, because they've at this point there's also the plot still going on about Chemical X, Project X, whatever. And they dust it for fingerprints because they're not fucking morons. Yeah. And immediately find out that, it's Jeff.
And that's when they check the file to find out that his parents were a horse.
Yes, and then they also suggest that maybe he's being controlled by his spy mate partners, the
spy chimp. Yeah,
it makes so much spy chimp. So they start doing things like that. They go into all that. And they're like, okay, we need to pick Jeff up. Jeff needs to be talked to. There's something going on.
So they're like, go talk to Jeff. Okay, should we talk or bark? Talk. If you bark, you never know what you're saying.
Yes, yeah. Because if you bark at... God, I forgot about that. The German's like, if you bark at a dog, you'll never know what you're telling him. You could be saying anything, man. You don't speak dog. You can't just bark at him. God.
It's such a good dumb joke. Oh, man.
So then they get to Jeff's place, and
he's gone,
everything's...
Right?
Yeah, and everything ends up being normal, right? Like, they go there, and it all gets being explained kind of thing. How exactly did that work out?
So they went to Jeff's place, but he had already left because he took Digby with him in a horse trailer, and he dressed Digby up in a horse costume from his parents.
Because he had the parents' horse costume, because they're bringing that up again.
He did that because he wanted to go to the soup kitchen to get lunch.
Yes. But there's just a moment there, though, where I really wanted to mention it, because there's a really good line delivery of... The German doctor's like, no, I swear, like, all of these things are true.
Oh,
this happened, and, like, he's got a dog and all this. And they're all, like, looking at him because everything's normal. And he goes, they're like, are you feeling okay, doctor? He's like, I'll make an appointment. They're like,
make an appointment. I already have.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I think you should see a doctor.
I have made an appointment.
Oh yeah, and when they were explaining everything, they were going through the slides about Chemical X, and that's when they showed the pornography for no reason. He's like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
later,
oops.
yes. Yeah, he
Uh,
gets his personal stash.
yeah. Oh, my bad. Oh.
When they're going
But
over slides
at
for Chemical X.
at the soup kitchen, where they apparently tie they chain their silverware, which is fucking weird. But
That's awful.
it's so
I
bad.
wouldn't be surprised if that's. I mean, like that just seems like a real
might have done
thing,
that.
right? Like
But-
where
but-
they're worried about.
Yeah, they could have. But as he's eating, a hostess in a bunny suit, a very
Playboy
revealing
Bunny comes
Playboy
by.
bunny costume, just comes by with like drinks
Mm-hmm. Yep.
to
And-
offer him a drink. He's like, "Oh no, I got some already. I got a drink." Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's like, "Hi, I'm your table bunny." She even introduces herself that way, and it's just what?
It's like a maid cafe. What is happening?
I feel like this was one of those ones where I was like, I don't know if it's just absurdist or if this
Yeah.
is like some kind of 1960s British reference that we just wouldn't get.
Yeah, I don't know. I
But
don't
it's
know. It's
something.
it's an adult club joke for kids.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, for
I
kids.
guess.
Right
I
after
don't
the
know.
softcore porn.
Right after
that was
softcore
accidentally
porn.
mixed in where the guy's accidental
Like,
spank material
that-
made it into his secret government presentation.
Yeah, there's like, I don't know if these are urban myths or actual reality, but there's like Rescue Rangers has apparently a frame or two of pornography thrown in. Anyways, so as he's at the soup kitchen, the burglars show up to go steal Digby, and they swap Digby's horse trailer with Digby in a horse costume with a real horse trailer that looks the same with a real horse in it.
Yes.
Right. And then Jeff drives back to his aunt's place with Digby, but it's actually a horse, and he keeps telling his aunt, "No, that's a dog, not a horse. I know a dog when I see one. What are you talking about?" Right. And the burglars then drive Digby to the circus because they're acrobats and they know the people at the circus, because I assume they did a show there at some point. And they decide to sell Digby to the circus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, we get the circus is advertising on the telly.
Yeah.
Their show.
I'm loving that you're just picking up all the British on the telly, you know.
That's what happened. It's on the telly.
It is, yes. It is on the telly, exactly.
I know the word. And at that point, the kid sees the dog, which they've renamed King. He's like, "That's Digby. I know Digby. I know a Digby when I see one." And
That's
runs off.
Digby.
And Jeff sees it at his aunt's place. Is like, "Wait, that's Digby. I also know Digby when I see one."
Mm-hmm.
And they both go to the circus, and then they both sneak in. The boy sneaking into the audience, and Jeff sneaking into the clown tent.
Yes. Yeah. He gets dressed up as a clown and ends up being one of the acts, of course. Where they do the traditional kind of fish out of water joke about a circus. What kind of act is he going to be in? Of course, it's the knife throwing one. And of course, the guy that's throwing knives has, like, Coke bottle glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they do that whole bit, I guess. It's fine.
It's fine. But after that, they bring Digby in, chained up on a cart.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Look, it's the Digby, the biggest dog in the world." But they call him King.
It's
They changed the name. Changed the name. And the biggest dog in the world, like King Kong. You remember the scene from King Kong? It's King Kong, everyone. Look.
Nothing
It's
could
King
possibly go wrong if you yell about King Kong and have him chained up. It'll all be good. So anyways, it all starts going horribly awry.
Yeah.
As Digby breaks his chains.
Like immediately.
Because he sees his boy in the audience and is just excited.
What a good boy. What
Digby's
a
good boy.
So then Digby breaks out of his chains and tramples like 50 people as they're running.
Digby's
from the
body
circus.
count in this is actually pretty high. There's some
Yeah.
moments where you're like, I don't think those people are walking away from this.
Yeah, he like tramples 50 people as they're running away, including the acrobat thieves and the ringleader of the circus. which later we find out they're okay. They're just in the hospital, completely covered in bandages, until a mummy kills them.
Yes. Although I do like the joke of the ringleader comes in all covered in bandages, like totally
Yeah.
swathed up, but still smoking a cigar. So like, he's just
Yeah.
all bandages, but the cigar is just stuck into the bandages. And you're like, yeah, okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay. But they do the Universal Monster movie, like, mummies stuff to be like, "Rrrr." It's like, okay. Okay, so Digby escapes, and then we just get, like, Digby shenanigans, where he's murdering people and almost destroying trains, and, like...
Yeah, this is where the movie kind of runs out of
It
steam
runs
a
out of
bit.
jokes, for sure, at this point.
Yeah, it has a lot of really good moments. Like, we can't get into every joke because every joke is a lot of them are really quick and fast, and a lot of it is about like the timing and delivery rather than the
Yeah, for
actual
sure.
joke itself, like the banana stuff and things like that. But this part is it's visual gags of like Digby's laying across railroad tracks and he's 20
Yeah.
times the size of the trains. The guy is, oh no, I've got to stop the train, and Digby stands up and the train goes underneath.
We didn't mention this, but they do some really good set stuff for size of Digby.
Yes.
Like they have a set of a kitchen where Digby is normal to the kitchen, then they do a smaller version of that set so Digby looks bigger. There's some good rotoscoping for the time where they just kind of superimpose Digby large scale in scenes where Digby isn't. Like very King Kong. Very King Kong.
They do a very good job of it. I really liked the small set stuff. I talked about that a little bit while we were watching it, like just how impressed I was with it. It's very much got like that kind of Tremors feel, like when they're in the basement and they have like they drop the gun and they have to pick it back up and it's got to be really small because they've got to have, you know, the little worm puppets look like they're gigantic, and so you do all that trickery, and it does a good job of that. It's got some neat things in it where there's like all these open cans of dog food all around the kitchen, so you have to like make smaller little cans of dog food that look almost the same.
So it looks to
set
scale,
all that stuff up and scale it down, so it's basically Digby in a little dollhouse, and it's neat. It's good stuff. They had to do a lot of work for it. Like I'm surprised at how much effort had to have gone into this movie. Like,
yeah, it feels like the budget would have been high because there's explosions, there's sets, there's props.
Spoiler alert, they go on a bombing run against Digby.
Oh yeah, sorry, they bombed Digby. My bad.
They do bomb Digby.
They fucking bombed
the
Digby.
explosions thing. They do bomb Digby.
Also, yeah, that happens. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a really good set.
Not seeing that in Clifford. Fuck.
No. Yeah, Clifford's fucking ass. They're never gonna bomb Clifford. When you have an F-15 do a bombing run over Clifford, then I'm in.
No, but they should.
They should bomb Clifford, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the gags that they eventually have or not gags, but one of the things they have for prop work eventually that's really impressive is there is an antidote to Project X that was being developed.
Yeah.
And so he gets it and gives it to the kid, and the kid has to sneak into Digby's mouth to dump the antidote in before they bomb Digby to death. And before the military kills him. Well, they're in a standoff with the military as the military is like bringing tanks in and planes to bomb Digby and shit.
It just keeps escalating until they bomb him. Yeah.
And they have to dump this antidote in. And they film from inside of Digby's mouth, supposedly. And so it's shot where the camera is pointed so that the mouth, like it out of the mouth. And the child's just like in this big prop tongue and teeth and stuff. And
it's a really
good
prop.
Like that to do a really big like slide that they covered or something. And it looks really, really good. Like I was impressed with the amount of work that they did for a lot of that stuff and the quality of it. Like it was pretty decent. Like it held up well. So that was a nice little bit of prop work that they had in there also.
They obviously don't just start with bombing Digby.
No. First they try and get the Russians to lift Digby.
They try and get the Russians to drop a net on him.
Yes, with a helicopter. And there's I don't know if this is a joke or a mistake of the VHS copy that we have kind of thing, but if it was a joke, it was a really good joke in that he's like, oh, okay, like, do you think that this helicopter is enough to take up the dog? And they start talking to each other in Russian, and they subtitle it in Russian.
So you still don't know what they're saying.
So you still have no
read it.
fucking clue what they're talking about. And it's really funny to me, at least. Like, it was a really good joke for a moment, and I'm not sure if it was intentional or, like, just an error on the version that we have, but it was really funny to me. But they do the Yakov Smirnov thing of,
They do.
we've got bigger dogs in Soviet Russia. Yeah, that kind of thing.
And they net Digby with bait, and they try to lift Digby up, and Digby slams the helicopter down.
Killing all three of them instantly.
Killing all three of them.
Except somehow the military guy gets up again, because it's the same bozo that we've had from the beginning is the joke, right?
It's true. But Jeff does get the antidote. He goes back to lady in the lab who has the antidote, I guess.
Yes.
And first he threatens her with the kid's location. He's like, I know where that kid is, and if you don't give me the antidote, what'd you do to him? Oh, he's fine. He's just with Digby. What do you mean? I don't...
Yeah, no, I'm not.
What?
Huh?
What? I was just telling you that I knew where he was.
Oh, I'm not threatening. Yeah, I'm just...
what
just
an
want
idiot.
to let you know where your kid is.
God damn it. But she gives him... Well, I think he basically steals the antidote, but she does give it to him. Because he knocks out the military guy again in the face with another cabinet or something. And as he's running away, the chimp is in his car with his keys because the spy has got his keys.
Mm-hmm.
And he does. There's a good getaway chase. There's a really good getaway chase in that car.
Oh, there is. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about one of the gags that they do, which is very solid.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so they're doing the big getaway chase, and the military guy, they end up getting to this spot where he has to make a hard left around like a bunch of buildings, and the military guy goes, aha, I can cut him off, I'll go in this alley, and the woman's like, it's too narrow, and he goes, well, if 007 can do it, then so can I, and he hits like this ramp that he can go sideways on. He's like, lean, so like they can go on two wheels and go through this alley. And they immediately, the minute that he hits it, flip over onto the side and just like, it holds for a good like 10 seconds as this car scrapes sideways on its side into the alleyway, which is just like a really good long, like, if it had been any less amount of time, it wouldn't have been funny. But they hold for exactly long enough that, like, this car just, like, loudly going across the, like, cobblestones is fucking hilarious. And then he's like, well, I think you leaned too hard. that's your fault. You fucked this up.
Yeah, that's your fault, not me. You did this. Yeah.
Oh, God. Man. Like, you could easily see them doing a gag where it's more zany, but instead of, they just do, like, the very realistic thing of, like, no, if you tried this in a car and you're not a trained driver, you will fuck it up and you will just flip your car.
It's great because it, like, legitimately subverted my expectations in a funny way.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Because I thought they were going to do, like, a more zany cartoon violence thing, and instead they just do, like, if you did this in real life, this is exactly what would happen. He would just scrape your car sideways, and that's exactly what he does.
Jeff and his chimp get away with the antidote, and that is when they do the big set giving the antidote. At the same time, the military is caught up with them using their power of binoculars and a large dog.
Yeah. Oh, God. Also with the chase scene, there's some other good bits in that chase scene, actually. I forgot about a couple of them. So the colonel is radioing in, because he's in a different car, and he's radioing back to dispatch.
Oh, there is that. Yeah.
There's some really good moments there, where he's radioing back to dispatch, and he's like, okay, I've got like a spy in a car. They're getting away. They've got our top secret formula. They're heading west. And because Jeff stole the car that's from the spy,
Yeah.
he has a radio in it too, so he can hear all of this. So then he picks up the radio and he's like, no, and he does a voice that sounds almost exactly like the Colonel, and he's like, no, this is the Colonel. They're actually heading east, not west. And so then they're back and forth, like, giving orders to the
Going
military.
down a
and the
one-way the
military is
wrong
like,
way, yeah.
The military ends up going up a one-way road the wrong way, and then they end up on a pedestrian pathway over the highway. So there's, like, all of these, like, military vehicles lined up on this pedestrian pathway, and they keep on cutting to that back and forth as they're, like, going different ways, which is, it's played up really well. And eventually, of course, then during the chase, Jeff blasts across the bridge in his car on the same pedestrian walkway where all the military guys are like looking at maps, like trying to figure out where they're supposed to go to cut these guys off. They see him on it and they're like, oh wait, that's one of our cars, and they all like salute it as he goes by. It's just like, god damn it, like there's some like just good gags in there. There's
the
some
one
really good
important
stuff.
thing in this movie is that all the cops in the military are incompetent.
Incredibly so, yeah. Everybody is just a little bit stupid, and it's just done very well. It's all absurd.
But so Jeff gets away, the military catches up. The main military guy is trying to get a gun from like the armory guy, and he has to keep signing the contract as he runs as it drives away on a vehicle. But the gun that he's getting is a paralyzing gas gun that he keeps pointing at everybody.
It was so good because so often we talk about gun safety here where people will just wildly swing guns at other people in their face. And I mean, because they're prop guns, people don't care about it, even though they probably should. But in this one, he swings the gun immediately towards the guy that gave him the gun. And I was thinking like, oh god, they're going to do the gun safety thing when nobody pays attention to the gun again.
Yeah.
But in this one, they acknowledge it, and the guy like immediately is like, "Ooh!" and like tries to hit the deck. Like, oh, don't point the gun in my face, dude. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
really
and there's another guy later who's like, oh, he's over there, but he's like pointing with the gun. He's like, oh, oops, oh god,
whoop, yeah.
Hold the gun out again.
Not hold the gun. Stop holding the gun.
God damn it! Right, that point, Jeff comes out. And he's talking to the military. He's like, hey, go away. Digby's over here. He's fine. Why don't you pick on someone your own size instead of a giant dog? What?
And the colonel goes, all right, sure. So walks up to him and points the gun point blank in his face from like 2 feet away.
Yeah.
And just like, oh, yeah, okay. That got real.
Grapple check.
At which point, they then charge each other and they start having this like slap fight over the gun is about the only way that I can describe it.
Other people, yeah.
And the whole military's just sitting there like just holding their head in their hands watching this.
God. Yep, and he shoots himself, not Jeff, the military guy, with the paralyzing gun and paralyzes himself. So they pull out a stretcher and put him on it. At this point, they just decide to fucking bomb Digby, as we talked about. And boy, howdy, do they bomb Digby.
They bomb Digby. This movie got like B-roll or actual footage of like a fighter jet, and then just they bomb the shit out of this bunch of hills. Like,
yep,
they shell it. They really do.
And thankfully, Digby's fine. Because Digby shrunk before the bomb. Anyways, Digby's fine.
Don't worry, everybody. Digby's okay.
And Jeff's not a criminal.
The chimp, however.
Yeah, now the chimp is big. Why did the chimp get big?
Because it's funny as shit.
Yeah, so the chimp grew somehow. There was more Chemical X somewhere, Project X. And the military guy that's on the stretcher starts deparalyzing from the gas, notices and starts running away as the chimp runs after him, and our characters run after the chimp to try and, I don't know.
Yeah, they have like some kind of slapstick ending.
Some goofy slapstick. Man, this movie's wild. Wild.
It's got a lot of the good like slapstick sight gags and stuff that like we can't get into all of them because there's a lot of them and it's hard to remember every single one of them, and also like they tend to go really fast. We could be here all day talking about them, but it's got like kind of that Police Squad style energy and stuff like that kind of thing. or like the Monty Python stuff where it's all just very rapid fire and very absurd. A lot of the humor is very deadpan, even though it's very absurd. So you have like, like they'll do like a lot of bits like when in Police Squad where you'll always see like 3 guys walk through a door and the 4th guy walks around the set. And it's like the actual set and it just zooms out to show it. And they'll do that a lot. Like there's that kind of thing in this show. Like it's that kind of sight gags all the time and just little things. It was a lot of fun to watch.
The guy at the soup kitchen that had the world is ending sign and he lifts it up as a tray for his food. And like, okay, that's good. That's a good visual gag.
They have like this whole with the soup kitchen thing with the tied down silverware. They kind of do this
they're too far apart
back and
for the
forth
plate. Yeah.
So they do this weird back and forth eating thing that's just I can't describe it really. They're just like sliding their plate back and forth to use the different utensils at different times.
As a dance or something.
He starts singing a song and it's just weird and it's just kind of funny. None of it is like laugh out loud humor, but it's all fast enough and interesting enough that it keeps you engaged. It's a good little movie.
Outside of one particular word in this film, almost everything is just like pretty good.
He uses as an excuse that Roma people took the dog. So of course they use the term, but I mean it's from. I mean, this was done exactly when, like 73.
73 is when this came out, so it would have been shot in 71, 72. Yeah,
it's one of those. It's an unfortunate thing, and I mean that was a term that was used quite frequently even through the mid 2000s until people started cluing in that no.
But
stop.
This is almost lost media in my mind. First of all, it's region specific, which is basically the UK and a little bit of Europe. It came out on VHS, early PAL DVD, and then never again. Right?
Yeah. And it's weird because when you look at the actual, like, as I'm looking again still at the cast for this, and it's Jim Dale, who, as I said, is like Order of the British Empire. His Wikipedia literally says is an English actor, composer, director, narrator, singer, and songwriter who's won BAFTAs and Grammys and an Academy Award and a Golden Globe and all this kind of thing. And then the other one is KBE, so even higher rank, Knight of the British Empire, Terrence Spike Milligan, who inspired most of Monty Python's stuff with The Goon Show. And then you have like another actor named Milo O'Shea, who was twice nominated for Tony Awards. So it's like there's a big cast to this. Like this is a bunch of really big comedians. Another guy is John Bluthal, who had a 6-decade comedic career. Like it's all these really well-known like 60s comedians of the day that are just unknown.
That's exactly the problem, right? Because they're 60s comedians.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's lost media in my mind. Like I'm sure there are kids who grew up watching this, I'm sure. In the UK in like the 80s, 70s, around there when it came out. But I've never heard of Digby, the biggest dog in the world.
I had never heard of the biggest dog in the world. And you'd think that I would because it's a big deal. It's a big dog.
It's a big dog. And you know what? There was a big dog in this movie. It might even be the biggest dog in the world.
It might have been the biggest dog. It probably was. You don't normally have to bomb many dogs. The British military doesn't often bomb dogs, I would think. I don't know. I'm not involved in any top secret British thing. I don't know.
No. Okay.
Man.
I guess like let's rate Digby, right?
Yes. Digby is a Old English sheepdog. As we looked up, you were talking about it. You looked it up. It is a dog that was used by Deluxe Paint in their advertisements because
in the 60s,
how popular. Yeah, and how popular like Old English sheepdogs are around the world, because Old English sheepdogs are the best. And they knew it back then too, because when we watched the Shaggy DA, that was
It's also a
also an Old
sheepdog,
English
yeah.
sheepdog.
Yep.
Yeah, they know exactly which dogs are really
And then-
fluffy and really good.
Also in Show Dogs with Shaq.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This dog the actual dog is named Fernville Lord Digby. So it is
It's
Digby
Digby.
playing Digby. And I just have to give it a Digby squared out of 10. It's
Digby
the
squared.
sequel to Digby. Digby 2. There's 2 Digbys.
Yeah, I would say Digby is a 2 out of 10, but then it grew to a 4 out of 10, and then after that, it was a 6 out of 10, and so on and so forth. So at this point, given the scale, doing some quick
There's some
calculations.
logarithmic growth
Yeah,
going on here.
there's some
Yeah.
logarithmic number out of 10, is what I would say. Yeah.
Oh god, Digby is really it's a really really cute dog, and I love seeing this dog in like their little kitchen sets and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like, it's just, you can like when you look close, you can very much tell that it's miniatures, but it's just very cute and funny.
Also, Digby goes BORK.
They do some
BORK.
very good thunderous borks and boofs and stomping around. Yep.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. I still don't know if this is for kids. It can't be with some of the jokes, but
you'd think not, but also I don't know who else it would be for. I'm
I have no
wondering what the
idea.
original like rating for Digby is actually.
I have no idea.
I'm just wondering if I can find that easily. It's G, rated general for all audiences.
I don't know about that though, but okay.
I mean,
most of
hey,
it's good.
listen,
It's
I
just-
watched Neverending Story. Movies back then had some.
Yeah,
they were okay with a little bazongas as a treat for kids.
right. So you would. I would also say this movie is very wunderbar.
Yes, God, that German doctor is
Man,
very
that
solid.
It's so funny. Do you think Beethoven would have ended differently if they bombed him?
Oh God, it would have stopped a lot of problems with those sequels.
Anyways,
the exponential growth there is how bad the sequels got. Like, so you can't bring us into having to watch Beethoven 5 this way. You can't do that.
It's going to happen. That's what's happening. You fool. You've fallen for my trap. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. That's Rough Cuts for this week. We very much appreciate all the support, all the... we have quite a few downloads now, which is great.
Getting close to 20,000, I believe, and
yeah,
still trucking. So thank you all for being here and being a part of this. We'll put up some media from the movie again, as usual, onto our Twitter, so you can always check that at Rough Cuts Cast. And of course, you can send us off any emails to roughcutscast@gmail.com. Do not believe we have any emails this week. Let me see. Let me just see if we've got any fan emails. Oh, we have one that is below sticker price from our fan stickermule.com.
Great,
It says, hi, Ilians, save money on stickers. We can get 50 custom stickers for 27 euros plus free shipping.
Oh, that's real nice of them to send that in.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Sticker Mule from apparently the UK. Obviously a big fan of Digby. And maybe we'll take them up on that offer.
Yeah.
But we have gotten some emails before, and I do really appreciate it when we do. And some of the suggestions have been great. I believe that wasn't the Tammy bracelet one, wasn't that suggested? The magic bracelet thing?
Bracelet of Bordeaux?
Bracelet of Bordeaux, yes.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I found that randomly. Like a big
Fair
dumb
enough.
idiot.
There was one of them that got suggested
Yeah.
that was really good, and I can't remember
Soccer
which one
Dog.
it was.
Soccer Dog was a suggestion on Twitter. Yeah.
Oh
but,
yeah, it was. That one was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to send us in some movies, we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We have movies forever though, don't you?
I just found 10 more. Regrettably.
I think that your Amazon list is in the hundreds. It's pretty
too many.
incredible how many
It's
there
too
are.
many. Too many.
But yeah, thank you for all for watching and supporting us. We do really appreciate it, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, I gotta go. Man, I got a script I've been working on about bombing Clifford, and I'm gonna go talk to some Hollywood execs. I think this is gonna be a hit.
That's not what they mean by box office, but you know what? You can just go right ahead and do it. I mean, box office bomb Clifford.
Yeah.
Box office bomb Clifford. No, bomb Clifford.
Do it.